Good evening and welcome to the June 23rd, 2026 Old Bridge Township Council meeting. Please stand for a pledge of allegiance. Please remain standing for a moment of silence and for a prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As customary in this chamber, we stand a moment to remember those who are protecting our freedoms, both here and abroad, for our first responders, for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, and for everyone suffering around the world, a moment of silence. Our prayer, Mr. Pasquini.
Dear Lord, bless thy servants in the ministry of public affairs who serve you in this chamber. Give us quiet minds and hearts that we may hear your voice. Help us to know when to speak, when to be silent. Give us strength to oppose the wrong and uphold the right. And grant that we have a good conscience and soul at peace with thee and with one another. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please be seated.
Roll call, Council President.
Please.
Let the record reflect that Councilman Asatuli is absent. Councilman DePalma.
Here.
Let the record reflect that Councilman Desai is absent. He will be arriving in about 10 minutes. Councilman Merwin. Councilman Pasquini.
Here.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Here.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Here.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli. Here. And Council President Sohar.
Here.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the official newspapers of the Township on January 8th, 2026, and has been posted in public places. Next open public meeting of the Township Council will be held on Tuesday, July 21st, 2026 at 7:30 p.m.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. First, we'll be starting off with public hearing H1, resolution granting application for plenary retail consumption license renewal for Sideline Lounge Incorporated, license number 1209-33-004-002 for the 2026-2027 license term with conditions. Good evening.
Come on up.
Please, thank you.
Can we give him a microphone? Yes, please.
Okay,
You want him to come up here?
it's fine.
All right, here is
Yeah,
good.
it's fine. How are you this evening? Okay, great.
Press the button.
Do you have an attorney with him? Okay. All
So
right.
I just want the record to reflect that this license has met all the conditions set forth on its license, and in the report received from the police department regarding calls for service, they had no significant number of calls for service, and they are here to see if they can get their license renewed for the 26-27 term.
Okay, and this was all done with the police and everything is in order? Okay, all right, very good. We'll have to open it to the public, so I'm going to need a motion to open to the public.
Move it.
Okay,
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli, second by Councilman Von Stetten. All in favor?
aye.
Any
Okay,
opposed? None?
No.
We're now open.
okay, is there anyone in the public who would like to be heard on this particular item? Okay, seeing no hands, then I will ask to close.
Motion by Councilman Merwin.
Second.
Second by Councilman DePalma. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we're now closed.
Okay, is there anyone for a question on my left? Counsel, on my right? No. Then I'll ask for a motion.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli, second by Councilman DePalma. Roll call. Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have a good evening. Next is H2, resolution granting application for plenary retail consumption license for Sarthy Corporation, 1209-33 2025-019-007 for the 2026-2027 license term with conditions. Good evening.
This gentleman, this license is also coming before council and has met all the requirements set forth in the resolution with all the stipulations, and was also reviewed by the police department for calls for service, if anybody wanted to take a look at calls for service on this license. But everything is in order, and he's asking to have his license renewed for 2026, 2027.
Okay, very good. We'll now need a motion to open it to the public.
Move it.
Okay.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Von Stetten. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we're now open.
Okay, is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on this particular item? Okay, seeing no hands, then I will ask for a motion to close the public portion.
Move it.
Moved by Councilman Merwin, second by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we're now closed.
Okay, anyone council left? Anyone on the council right? Okay, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman DePalma. Roll call, Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquitti.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. H3, resolution granting application for plenary retail consumption license for Red's Tavern Corporation. 1209-33-035-009 for the 2027 license term with conditions. Good evening.
This license applicant is coming before us. She has met all the requirements for the renewal for the 2026-27 term and is in compliance with her conditions placed on the license. Also, her establishment was inspected by the police department, also on the list of inspections received up on the dais. So they are kindly asking that you renew their license for the 26-27 license term.
Okay, first I'll need a motion to open to the public.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Von Stetten. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we're now open.
Okay, is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on this particular item? Seeing no hands, I will ask for a motion, close public.
Move it.
Moved by Councilman DePalma. Second by Councilman Von Stetten. All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Hearing none, we're now closed.
Okay, council, anyone? Mr. Merwin?
Yeah, I see you have the, there's an ABC violation and they're proposing a 26-day suspension by the ABC. What's that for? Do we know?
Jess, do you have the information?
This is from a violation from 2024, it looks like.
Good evening, officer.
36 days suspension.
Yeah, just push it in. Maybe? Okay.
Okay, so we received a notification May 19th, 2026, that they were. Apologies. Thank you. That there were several violations that occurred on November 19th, 2024 that they're seeking a license suspension for, but it's not officially resolved yet. So it's still.
Pending.
It's pending, yes.
Okay.
We listed it because we received it for this, it was dating for this year, so that's why we added it to the report.
Do they
Where are the
usually
violations?
take that long till they get resolved?
Yes,
Is he done?
they're very long.
What were the violations?
It's a full list, it would take a while, but for example, it would be failure to disclose the other establishment that she owns had an interest in the license as one of them, conducted business without keeping or having a true copy of the application or amendment, and storage of records off licensed premise without division approval. So,
Right.
So there's nothing criminal, it's just paperwork and
that's all
failure
through
to
the ABC.
disclose.
Yeah, ABC charges, yeah.
All right, you good? Anyone else have a question? No? Okay, seeing no hands, then I'll ask, you have a question?
Yes, I do. So that was in '24. You went and inspected the location. Have you gone back and inspected that the papers were in order now?
Yes,
Okay,
yep,
thank you.
no problem.
Thank you. Okay, if anyone else have a question for the officer? Okay, thank you. Okay, seeing no hands, then I'll ask for a motion.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Von Stetten, second by Councilman De Palma. Roll call, Councilman De Palma.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good evening. Approval of minutes, resolution approving the regular combined council minutes, meeting minutes, and executive session meeting minutes of May 19th, 2026. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Von Stetten. Roll call, Councilman De Palma.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Abstain.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next will be bill list, Councilman De Palma.
Bill list as of June 23rd, 2026. Accounts payable, June 23rd, 2026, $15,725,906.52. Payroll, June 18th, 2026, $1,374,894.24. And payroll overtime, June 18th, 2026, $41,425.02. And that is all.
Thank you. Anna, can we have a breakdown, please, of the overtime?
Yes, thank you. The major uptick in this last payroll were the primary elections, as well as our Clean Communities cleanup. And the sworn police overtime for that payroll was $24,335.91. Deduct grants, $6,017.62. Deduct ETO, $7,974.24, for a total of $10,344.05. We currently have one officer on light duty and 2 officers injured on duty.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Von Stetten. Roll call, Councilman De Palma.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Next will be second reading ordinances for second reading. H1, ordinance adopting the Trecton Square redevelopment plan and amending the township zoning map. I'm going to open it to the public. I need a motion, please.
Moved by Council Vice President, second by Councilman De Palma. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the public hearing is now open.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on this particular item? Then step forward, please. Wait,
Your name, sir, please?
have your
Grillo.
name?
I'm sorry, again?
Robert Grillo.
Robert Rillo.
What's the purpose of the rezoning?
Okay, we're gonna,
Yeah, so this is a area that was previously designated as an area in need of redevelopment. And it is a former municipal landfill that's been closed and has been under DEP supervision for the last, I don't know, at least 20 years. So part of the process is that the town, in negotiating with the property owner and a redeveloper, they've agreed to finish the cleanup on behalf of the township, which would, in essence, cost the township tens of millions of dollars. And then as a portion of the site itself, is going to be permitted for certain residential development that is included in the township's fourth round affordable housing plan.
So it still didn't answer the question on why the purpose of rezoning, though.
Because in order for them to move forward, it's not a rezoning, it's a redevelopment plan. It met the requirements of redevelopment. It allows for, when you do redevelopment, you adopt a redevelopment plan. This is the plan that allows for that redevelopment. It's a unique piece of property. It meets the criteria of redevelopment law. So it allows for the the prospective redeveloper to develop it. And in order for him to do that, the redevelopment process will help him expedite the process to finish cleaning up the property so that it can be developed and put back to useful life for the township.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sir, could you just do me a favor and write your name on the sheet of paper that's there so we can have it spelling correct for the record? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to be heard on this item? Good evening.
Hi. Joanne Seitz. I've been looking on the website for Old Bridge and whatnot, and I've been looking to try to see where the hell it is. I know 4185 block, lots 13.11 and all this, Happy Horse Manure. The thing is, it said that it borders Old Road, which I know where that is, but it says 9, part of 34. Now, is it near Central Park? Is it behind Central Park? Yeah,
Yeah,
because I couldn't understand it.
it is between Central Park and New Amsterdam.
And where?
New Amsterdam Village,
Yeah,
right there, that plot of land, that's behind those two.
so
Like,
it's that's the 234 acres that we're
Yes.
talking about. Okay, now there's a little lake in there somewhere that I saw, and you're saying about the cleanup, I remember, because I've been here a long time too, that, there was some cleanup needing to be done. But there's also a lot of water over there. There's a lot of, it borders Cheesequake. So that, how is that going to be handled with the development? It said 450 townhomes, 90 of them would be with the affordable housing. So, okay, fine with that, I think. Then it's saying something with commercial, some other stuff commercial. How is that going to be handled with Route 9 as it is, with pain in the neck? 34 is not so good. The infrastructure, is that going to be enough for all these properties that are supposedly going in? And that's all Old Bridge. So we're talking about then, if that's the amount of people, I don't know if it's going to be 2 and 3 bedrooms or whatever, so there's going to be kids somewhere. And what about with also, as I say, with the infrastructure of the water, our electricity and all this, stuff that is going to be affected, and how long is this going to take for the cleanup first?
So first, I'll answer your question regarding the lake, the water. So there is a significant portion of land that is constrained, and that is going to be preserved. So if you look at the plan, there is only roughly like 60 acres that is developable, but the rest all is going to be preserved, and it'll be donated to Cheesequake State Park. Cheesequake State Park. So that land is going to be preserved. So only the front portion, which is closer to Old Road, is what is developable. Rest all is constrained and will be preserved.
Okay.
So this plan actually calls for 2 districts. One is the area where the townhouses will be constructed, which is closer to Old Road, whereas the remainder is going to remain environmental recreational zone, so it'll be preserved as park.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to look through the whole thing, but I was having a little bit of difficulty trying to read the maps with what the parcels were. So that's why I needed to
So one
know.
important thing, there was a study that was conducted before that included even parcels on Route 9 that are already, there's a gas station, there's a church, though that whole area was included. However, this plan pertains to only this particular parcel, which was the Old Bridge landfill in the past.
Okay, and then approximately how long is this supposed to be taking just to clean up? A couple of years?
Well, it just so you know, it started well before I came on board here in 2013. And part of the problem has been that the DEP changed the way these types of sites are cleaned up. And during the course of the time, the different types of chemicals you had to test for changed. The parameters for the chemicals changed. So ultimately, that's caused or created issues for the township in continuing to move forward with they have to come up with a final plan. The final plan that has to be approved by DEP, if I recall, there's a timeline, has to be submitted, I believe, sometime at the end of this year. It's a proposal plan. And then the time frame within which they have to execute the cleanup, I don't recall off the top of my head, but it would, again, the developer would do it. And I think that ultimately a portion is going to be capped. It's somewhere between 3 and 5 years, I think, as far as the cleanup, once the plan's approved by the DEP.
Okay, thank you. Is there going to be any things that are tax abatement type of things that is going to be with this property or no?
So it's a area need a redevelopment. So as part of the redevelopment process, the redeveloper again, they're going to be spending a lot of money to clean up the site. So there'll be a financial agreement that would be in place for. I'm not sure if it's going to be all of it because there's going to be some housing involved, but there would be portions because the portion that was the former landfill, while that'll be cleaned up, I think there's plans to use that as recreation on top of it. So I think portions of it will have a financial agreement. That's going to be up to the redeveloper. But I think an important part, and again, I've had this conversation time and again when we talk about financial agreement, that right now the town receives no income. It's a gigantic liability around the town's neck. That again, the early estimates, if the town, because when a municipality does work, the requirements are a lot different because they pay prevailing wage. So that increases the cost exponentially between 40 to 60% more than if a private entity did it. The estimated cost for the town that was provided by the LSRP, which is basically the environmental remediation expert overseeing the project, was about $20 million to finish it. So, and then as part of the settlement, that was struck many, many years ago before anybody here was on committee. Not only was the township responsible for doing the cleanup, but at the end of all that, the town was going to buy the property back from the owner for $8.5 million. So you're looking at potentially $30 million, right, for the town, and people concerned about their taxes. That's a big nut, right? And you're not going to raise that. All right, there's a way that, so what happened was in discussion with the property owner and this redeveloper, they've agreed to undertake that. And this has to go through DEP approval, and they've been in contact with DEP approval. Well, they'll undertake the cleanup, and they'll be paying the property owner as opposed to the town. Ultimately, ideally, the town will get a piece of property that will become useful. It'll become a rateable as opposed to a huge negative and drain on the township, and then allow the town to continue moving forward. But for the fact, though, these financial agreements are in place, you will not get the incentive. This actually is the type of site that the whole redevelopment process was, one of the targets for, right? It was an area that's been inactive for many, many years. It was a former landfill. And look, property owners or developers need incentive, and that's one of the incentives. But when you do a cost-benefit analysis, I think at the end of the day, it becomes a no-brainer for the township. And then The additional benefit there is that part of the housing, yes, it's part of our fourth round affordable housing plan, which again, we're taking a piece of property that hasn't been used at all, putting it back to use, and then us controlling the process where the housing is going to be. Now, you raised a question with respect to infrastructure costs. As part of any approval plan, there's going to be off-site improvements that are going to be required, even along Route 9, to deal with that, and that'll be part of the process. But Vina and the township engineer and DOT have had conversations relative to, and with the redeveloper, some of those improvements that are going to be made. And the idea is to make, actually, with them doing the off-site improvements, they're paying for the off-site improvements to help the circulation in that area overall. So that's another benefit the township will receive from the redevelopment process.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, could you just write your name on the list for us too, please? Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Sorry, is there anyone else who would like to come up and speak on this issue? No? Okay, seeing no hands. Oh, where? Oh, okay, yeah, I'm watching her. Go ahead. No, it's okay.
Hi, Paul Moravec. Just had a question on the how the property is going to get split up. You were mentioning about some going to Cheesequake for the park. So could you tell me how many acres for the development, how many acres are just preserved, and how many go to the park?
So I think the entire area is roughly, it's in the plan, but roughly 250 acres. Out of that, only 60 acres is developable, which is closer to Old Road. That's the one where the residential development will occur. Remainder, everything will be preserved.
Okay, and how much goes to the park?
So that would be roughly 200, a little less
Oh,
than
so
200.
the whole remainder?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought some was just preserved like as wetlands or something.
No, the whole thing will be going to Cheesecake.
Okay.
Right, and there's been discussions already with the state DP as part of cleanup costs. There's a whole nother issue dealing with towns having to pay, I'll call it a tax because that's really what it is, and they can't tell you how they it's one of those another formulas where they can't tell you how they calculate it, but they tell you you owe it for resources. So, but as part of the negotiations with the state, in order rather than the town having to pay it, the town and the redeveloper have agreed to donate that part of the development to Cheesequake so it gets preserved forever.
Okay, very good. That's all I had. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to be heard?
Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to ask questions. Vina, in the past and most recently, a number of the developments that have been done, like Woodhaven 3 or whatever it is, they happen to clear cut the entire properties in order to build whatever they're building for housing, which I understand housing. What I don't understand is why we can't preserve some of the older trees in these development processes. I don't understand why our tree man that we pay for in this town doesn't actually go through and say, hey, look, this is actually a relatively important tree to it. There's other towns that do that look at things and align that into the property when they're designing it. And I'm wondering why we don't do that.
Actually, we definitely do that. Every application that is submitted to the planning board or the zoning board is reviewed by the Old Bridge forester, and he issues a review memo. He walks through the sites. He does a thorough analysis, and when there are heritage trees, they are preserved.
So then you're telling me that the property down on Englishtown Road, Woodhaven 3, where they clear cut. I'm sorry. Wait. I'm just trying to understand this. Where I saw oaks that had to be at least 100 years old that were knocked down, not heritage trees.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but this is a public hearing and an ordinance, so you have a question relative to the redevelopment plan for Trecton Square?
Yes, because it is, because my concern is, again, the same way they clear cut and they rip everything down, because, well, I do understand development. I'm not arguing about any kind
Right.
of development about housing. What I'm questioning.
Yes, so I think part of it is that Woodhaven's been around for a long time, and probably a lot of that development occurred before our most recent tree removal ordinance,
Well-
right, so.
So, sir, no
Yes.
disrespect.
No
I
disrespect taken, just trying to edify.
Okay, so-
That's my business, to edify people, so they can make intelligent comments, ask intelligent questions, all about education.
Absolutely. This was not, this was a recent thing. This was done January, February this year, before there was animals that would be nesting, obviously the birds, it was cleared before that. The entire property, which used to be a farm, where a lot of woods was, I'm sure Dr. Belli remembers the farm, right? That was there for, near 100 years.
So it's a question then, with respect to this site, will the town's ordinances as they pertain to tree removals will apply. And it deals with specimen trees, it deals with heritage trees, and then to the extent that, the areas beyond the envelope, they have to do tree replacement, there's a whole correlation with respect to that.
So while you don't attend the zoning board meetings, I took a walk through the property that was, I think, that they were going to have a storage unit on Route 18, right? And it was denied. There was, wait, I just want to,
Just
it's not a
you're gonna relate it
digression.
back to Trecton,
No, I'm going
I
to
would
explain.
imagine.
I'm going to explain. I did a quick walkthrough,
Okay.
no disrespect. I did a quick walkthrough and I found eggs. Not eggs of a bird, although that's important because we have federal protection of birds. It was turtle eggs. And I found those literally walking in this area. And my concern is, again, the protection of these animals, the protection of this stuff. And while I applaud the fact that they're donating land to Cheesequake State Park, what I'm concerned about, because it is wetlands, that may be part of it, but also because of everything else, what I'm concerned about is that I'm not sure where the gentleman is, that his mind is, but I do know that there were heritage trees, or what have been considered heritage trees in other towns, that were taken out.
Right.
Completely taken out. And so my assumption is that you're not looking, my assumption, it's an assumption.
Correct.
I
So we
understand
won't-
that.
so we won't say what that
Yes,
means.
I understand. Believe me, you. But my assumption is that the Forester, I'm going to use the word cahoots, but I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean it, no, you understand me?
so no.
The
So-
forester is looking at this as, okay, this
So
tree.
I can tell you, just from firsthand, that our forester is anything but in cahoots with developer.
No, I wasn't
'cause he
trying to
is
say
so-
cahoots.
He is so tree
I hate that
friendly.
word.
He
No,
is
I
so
didn't mean-
tree friendly. It's not
I know
even
that.
fun.
No,
It's not. I got it. It's
I
not
t-
even funny.
I know that. No, I know that, but my
so
point is
Nina,
that
let's just bring it back to Trecton.
Okay, so this is the thing. Clear cutting. So this is the thing. So are you, if so kindly, the gentleman could mark off trees that are going to be heritage trees, because I'd love to walk the property that's 60 acres.
Well, you would have to get the approval of the property owner, right?
I would
That's
do
not
that.
with you?
I would be happy to do that.
So all I'd say is that the township ordinances apply to any development. The township has a tree removal ordinance that deals with all those issues. So to the extent there's an application for development, all applicants would have to comply, including for Trecton Square.
So we're going to see some trees saved because of, obviously, that area has not been developed in at least 150 years, right?
I would assume there would be, but yeah, whatever has, a lot of it is actually where they're going to develop, I can tell you.
Well, I
was a
understand that, but
former-
they can move the design.
A lot of the area where it's being developed was a former gravel pit, so a lot of it is actually
Well,
open.
the gravel pit obviously is not
So it's
important.
actually open. There are no trees in a lot of the areas. Most of the areas going to be developed, frankly.
The area where there is a proposal to use for recreation, it's a landfill.
Right,
which
so
has
that
be
they'll
cut,
have to
so
be
there is
cut
no-
and open and cleaned out. So
You mean trees can't be where recreational areas are?
no, they can't be where it has. They're not part of the area of the site that has to be cleaned because it was the former landfill. All that,
Understood.
right? That's about 13 acres.
So that landfill area, is that contaminated land, sir?
Correct, and it's being cleaned. That's part of the process. And there'll be no residential area, no residential development on that area near the area. It's not
So when they clean it, how are they going to keep it from being aerosolized?
That's the plan that they have to submit to DEP that DEP ultimately approves.
Okay.
Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to be heard? I'm looking good. No? Okay, seeing no hands. Oh, okay, go right ahead. Good evening.
Good evening. I looked over the Trecton Square plans. I do have a
Sir,
couple questions.
Not
Yes.
to interrupt, could you just
Could
say
you
your
please
name
just
for the
state your
record?
name?
Sure. Joe
Please.
Milo Russo, resident. Yeah, I looked over the Trecton Square plans. I'm a little concerned basically about what's being spoken about, that the land is contaminated. My first question is why this plot of land would be deemed necessary to build residence on and a recreational facility. And then my other question is, it was rezoned at a certain point. I guess a parcel of land is now designated for future redevelopment. So that parcel of land, my question is, what was the original zoning for that?
What's the underlying zoning?
It was ER zone. It was a mix of EDO3, ER.
Right.
So.
Okay, can you say what those ER? What does that mean? Environmentally restricted.
Recreational. Recreational.
Okay. Recreational. Okay.
Yes.
But I can tell you this, when that was designated as ER, that was after it had been operated as a landfill, and they could not use it anymore as a landfill. So I think that happened many, many years ago. So I think because it was a landfill and had to be cleaned up, I think the township just simply changed it to ER. I don't think there was any real reason other than it was a landfill that needed to be cleaned up.
Okay.
But the other thing with respect to, again, the cleanup of the site, there's DEP regulations, DEP oversees the cleanup. There's a plan that has to be approved. There will be no residential development on the area that was the former landfill. The DEP, the state has regulations that dictates what can be built upon former landfills. For instance, if you go up north, even other areas, there's plenty of commercial development, residential development, I mean commercial and retail development that were former landfills. That happens all the time, because ultimately what happens with landfills is they get covered, and a lot of it becomes parking, and or if there's a solid cover over top of it, then they may put grass, but most of the time there are uses that are permitted, and the ultimate property owner will have to comply with what the DEP allows for them for those uses.
Okay. I mean, I think everyone can agree that cleaning up the land that's contaminated in the first place is important, and that's a great part of the project. But I have another question, whether other possibilities for land use have been explored other than residential and recreational, because looking at the map, I do see adjacent to it, there is some type of solar farm there. So, I mean, if anything, something like that seems like it would work really well in a land like that. This area is very high density. We have, as you said, New Amsterdam Village. You have London Terrace, Parkwood Village, Madison Arms are all over there. It's a lot of traffic people over there. So I don't know why this sliver of land needs 450 units in a very high traffic area already that is historically environmentally toxic. But I would really like to know whether other possible uses for that land can be explored.
So to answer that question, right? So typically when your landfill or a contaminated land is remediated, there are, like Mark explained, there are DEP standards that you have to meet, and then that particular land use is proposed. It could be commercial, it could be retail, it could be recreational. We thought this was the best way to get a community facility, a recreational space that the entire community can use. More importantly, there was a time when actually non-residential use was contemplated for the entire area. But the very reason that if you look at Kohl's shopping center, that area is failing is because it is so further set back from the highway that visibility is an issue. So for any non-residential uses, unless it's a destination place, if there is no visibility, there is no market for it. So we thought this was the best use of the property, that okay, we get it cleaned up and use it for recreational so that we have an additional public amenity.
Okay, so just to make this clear, will other uses of the land be explored, or is it solely residential and recreational at this point?
At this point, it is residential and recreational.
Thank you.
Sir?
Sir?
Can you just write your name?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have a pen? Okay. Yeah. There is? Okay. Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to be heard? Okay. And seeing no other hands, I'll ask for a motion, close public.
Move it.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Von Statten. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the public hearing is now closed.
Okay, now I'll go to council, my left. Anyone on my left? Mr. De Palma and Mr. Merwin. Mr. De Palma, go ahead.
So the one thing to note with these redevelopment plans, this isn't the end of the road. What has to happen is once everything comes up, the planning board will need to see this as well. So all the plans, those plans that the developer would submit have not been submitted yet to us, as far as I know, Vina, correct?
Vina?
So because we don't have those yet, they'll have to come to us to the planning board. The planning board will have their public hearings. The proper notice will be given out.
Yes, that is true. It'll come to the planning board. It will be reviewed by all the consultants. Again, even with the off-site improvements that are associated with the site plan, they will be much more in a final stages at that point, because we have had a couple of meetings with DOT. There are multiple agencies that are involved in those improvements, so that all will happen. So this is just an ordinance that allows the uses, but the fine tuning of this or the site planning still has to occur.
And I know growing up in Staten Island next to, I think at one point was the largest dump in the world, if I'm not mistaken. At least we're able to get this cleaned up. I understand from living in Staten Island for so long, the amount of money that it costs to clean up, obviously not in comparison to this smaller dump, but to add a $20 or $30 million tax burden, which it would become a tax burden onto the residents because we would have to bond for it. Now we're removing it and moving it onto a developer who will not only clean it up, they will also need to do improvements to the roadways to ensure that everything is safe. And as I said, it's not the end of the road. Once the developer has a plan to submit, then it would go in front of the planning board, and a committee of your peers in this town will have the ability to review it and then either approve it or deny it based off of what they're giving us. This isn't just a, yes, you're going to do it. They hand it over to us and we have to. They still have to meet a number of criteria for the planning board.
So to the township's credit, and in the last 5 years, we have cleaned up 2 landfills. Global landfill was one, and this is the second one now.
Yeah, and that solar farm is on top
It's
of
on a
one.
landfill, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Mr., are you through? You good? Okay, Mr. Merwin?
Yes. 453 and 4-bedroom townhouses, 45 to 55 foot high. I don't believe the redevelopment agency did us any favors. I think that is an outlandish number of units for a landfill. I understand all the implications of the cleanup and everything else that goes along with it. But 450 units of 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses. They're all 3 stories, all connected together, 10 different buildings, I believe it is, right? How close is this to Joseph Court?
Joseph Court's on the other side. The housing development will be across. I don't know if you've ever been out there. I've walked it, actually. When you come to Joseph Court, you have to go across, a portion of the site. So it's obviously close to, it's near New Amsterdam, that side of the.
They're going to be looking up at them.
Well, actually, no, because again, if you walked it, there's a precipitous drop from Old Road, and it goes into a gully. and it's pretty deep. So, that's one of the reasons why, because it's so low, especially from the road, they'll be difficult to see. And actually, the Joseph Court, the town owns a piece of property right behind Joseph Court. It's township owned, and that'll continue to be, won't be developed, right? So that area is a natural buffer. I can't tell you, Mr. Merwin, the exact distance, but the town owns a piece of property right behind Joseph Court. And actually, the MUA, I think, has a piece of property as well off of Joseph Court, if I remember. So those areas won't be developed. But where the actual units to be situated, it's, I don't know, it could be 40 to 50 feet from Old Road, at least. It's quite steep and it goes down. So most of those units won't even be seen from the road, and certainly the adjoining property owners would not be able to see them as well. And I think that's all was taken into consideration regarding the placement. I think and I don't remember the mix-up, because the 450, it's an up to, doesn't mean that's how many they're going to build, because they're not going to ultimately know that until they situate the buildings. But regardless of the number of units, because that's a maximum, they still have to provide the town with 90 affordable units, so that if ultimately they end up with 300 units, we still get 90 units, even though traditionally there's a 20% set aside. So we built that's built into the plan as well.
And I understand all of that. I don't understand the parking, which is one of the biggest problems that we have in every plan unit development in this town, is that there's no parking. Now, here we have 450 3- and 4-bedroom units. And we're only calling for 2 parking spaces.
So
One inside, one outside.
So all residential developments have to follow the RSIS standards for parking. So that requirement comes from the RSIS standards, but when we review site plans, with newer developments, we are insisting for having additional parking for guests and on-street parking, but we haven't really reached that stage. That will be handled at the planning board level. And again, the reason the 4-story is majority of the buildings are going to be 3-story, but like when we did the ordinance for Oaks, we allowed a higher story so that we can get more open space. That was the whole idea, so that we can add on to more parking as well.
Most of this open space is wet.
No, that's the difference. That open space is the one that is preserved. I'm talking about internal open space that can be created for the residents of this community.
Listen, I've been waiting for the RSIS to catch up on parking for 20 years. Every development we have has a parking problem. And that's always the answer. Well, we conform to the RSIS.
Because that's what governs.
I understand that.
Okay, so your beef is with the state legislature and the governor, not with Vina and the town. That's the beef, right? The residential site improvement standards were in.
Everything we do is we got a beef with the state.
Well, but that's a fake. Dave, that's the case.
And why aren't we doing that? Why are we giving them 450 3- and 4-bedroom units? On this small piece of property that's adjacent to a landfill. This land was all ER and CC, none of them which has residential components in it. And here we gave them the whole thing, all residential. Listen, I understand all those other things, but 450 units at that location, those people, like you said, what kind of drop was that?
Let me spell it, precipitous.
Precipitous. And if you go into the Central Park development, there's a precipitous drop on Washington Avenue. So you don't think those people are going to be looking up at those 3- 4-story buildings?
No.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. That's all I have. Thank you.
I wanted to let them go and see their thunder. Listen, this is a dilemma here. We got the cleanup portion of it. You have the impact on people's everyday lives, infrastructure. We're also down 2 schools in that area. Cheesequake School's closed, Cooper School's closing, and the impact on our school district. And, really, I think people need to understand this mandate of housing is really changing the landscape of every municipality throughout New Jersey, just not Old Bridge. It's affecting your taxes. It's affecting our school district. I like 55 and older. It's a minimum impact, no impact on our school district, and it keeps our residents who want to stay in New Jersey, helps them stay here. So, this project is all sides of it. And you always like to listen to the residents. Everybody had a valid point. The infrastructure is a major issue there. And I think everybody's been trying to work around it. And I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Thank you.
Move that we need the landfill cleaned up.
Second.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman DePalma. Roll call. Councilman DePalma?
Yes.
Councilman Desai? Let the record reflect, Councilman Desai came in at 7:50?
No.
7:40. Councilman Desai?
No.
No? Councilman Merwin?
No.
Councilman Pasquitti?
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli?
No.
Councilman Von Stetten?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes, we have to
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay,
Well,
next.
good, motion carries.
Next will be ordinance for first reading, FR1, an ordinance of the Township of Old Bridge amending Chapter 108 of the Code of the Township of Old Bridge entitled Construction Codes Uniform by amending 108-4 entitled. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Councilman DePalma, second by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Roll call. Councilman DePalma?
Yes.
Councilman Desai?
Yes.
Councilman Merwin?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquitti?
Abstain.
Councilman Rizzoli?
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
Motion carries. Public hearing set for July 21st, 2026.
Okay. FR2, ordinance for the Township of Old Bridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 5, Article 8, Article 13, boy, my Roman numerals, Article 13, Department of Police of the Code of the Township of Old Bridge, and specifically 5-97, testing procedures for entry-level officers, applications, qualifications. Excuse me, do I have a motion?
Move it. Second.
Moved by Councilman Rizzoli, second by Councilman Von Stetten. Roll call. Councilman DePalma?
Yes.
Councilman Desai?
Yes.
Councilman Merwin?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquitti?
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli?
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
Motion carries. Public hearing set for July 21st, 2026.
FR3, ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of the Township of Old Bridge, Chapter ADM 250, Land Development, and specifically 250-6, definitions, to add a definition for data centers and 250-42, prohibited uses, to designate data centers as a prohibited use in all zoning districts within the Township of Old Bridge. Do I have a motion?
Move it. Second.
Moved by Councilman Rizzoli, second by Councilman Desai? DePalma, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Roll call. Councilman DePalma?
Yes.
Councilman Desai?
Yes.
Councilman Merwin?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquitti?
Abstain.
Councilman Rizzoli?
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
Motion carries. Public hearing set for July 21st, 2026.
Next will be our consent agenda. I'd like a motion and a second, and then we'll go to separations.
Move it.
I'm sorry, who moved? Councilman Rizzoli, second
Second.
by Councilman DePalma. Councilman DePalma, any items for separation?
None today, Kate, thank you.
Councilman Desai? No. Councilman Merwin?
C1, C9, C12, and C13.
Councilman Pasquity?
No separations, thank you.
Councilman Rizzoli?
No separations, thank you.
C1, C9, and C12.
Yeah, but he said something else, didn't he?
C12. The last C1, C9, and C12.
That's it? Okay.
Okay. Councilman Rizzoli? None? None? Councilman Von Stetten?
C12, please.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
None, thank you.
And Council President Sohar?
None, thank you. Okay, so we'll go for a vote on the balance.
Move the balance.
Second.
Councilman Rizzoli, Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Roll call, Councilman DePalma?
Yes.
Councilman Desai?
Yes.
Councilman Merwin?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquity?
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli?
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
And Council President Sohar?
Yes. Okay, next will be C1, Councilman Merwin.
Yes, there she is. I was just having a hard time understanding that map.
Good evening, Nicole.
You know, if you could explain to everybody what this does, and I know there's a lot of people here that are very interested.
Thank you, Councilman Merwin, for pulling it apart tonight, and Council for having me in front of you tonight. You may recall in December of 2025, there was on the consent agenda a resolution approving Environmental Resolution, Inc. as traffic consultants to review the township so that they can prepare not only the certification report for DOT, but also this truck route map. We started that process by doing a desktop review, aerial imagery, and then using our CAD files for geometry's sake. We're unique in that our town has 4 state highways that run through it and 10 county routes. In our process that we follow, we looked at NJDOT regulation for coming up with a truck route map. And some people might say tonight, well, Nicole, we have a 4-ton weight restriction in our ordinance in Chapter 10 under vehicles and traffic for the Township of Old Bridge. I don't know if anybody on council recalls that sometime in 2021, I had done a truck analysis of Poor Farm Road so that I could restrict truck traffic on Poor Farm Road. We had done a traffic count, we had done an analysis, and we submitted that to DOT. And they had said, hey, this is great that you did this on Poor Farm Road, but just know that that ordinance that Old Bridge Township has is not valid. Either you do the same for every roadway you have listed, or you create a truck route map. And so what they say is you cannot stop the expeditious movement of goods throughout the town. You cannot just use state highway and county roadways to restrict truck traffic to those. You must use the municipal network, or you must prove otherwise why you can't. So that's what this report does. We analyze all the streets in town. We're not talking about the residential streets that are like Cindy Street. That's not what an 18-wheeler should be on, right? We analyze the streets that are through streets like Spring Valley Road, Spring Hill Road is a county road, Spring Valley Road, Ferry Road, those municipal roadways that can carry truck traffic, but maybe are residential in nature on either side. Something like Phillips Drive shouldn't have truck traffic. So the idea is, instead of analyzing every single one of those streets, let's give our truck traffic a map. That gives our police department an ability then to ticket those that don't follow our map. We've been noticing, especially, and I just mentioned Phillips Drive, an uptick in 18-wheelers going down a highly residential neighborhood that has an almost 90-degree turn as you're approaching Cottrell Road. That has a school on it. That's very residential on either side. Recently, and I want to say about 2 to 3 weeks ago, an 18-wheeler traversed from Cottrell Road down Phillips Drive, signs, 4-ton weight restriction, but the truck drivers know. The truck drivers know that that ordinance is not correct, and so they don't abide by the signs. So, and our police officers cannot enforce it because they know now that it's not approved by DOT. That truck came, pulled down the low-lying cables, which was telecommunication cables, and pulled down 3 utility poles by doing that. We're lucky that nobody was walking on that street. And so I had grandparents calling me of kids that they have that live on that street with young children. I had residents. I had Mrs. DeBreezy, who was with me here in December, co-signing to that truck route map being established. And unfortunately, her house was probably the heaviest hit as the wires were pulled off of her house. So it's not that, you're asking me probably why it's taken 6 months. Not only did we go through this internally with our consultants, with our traffic consultants, but we also had to be strategic in that we had to select roadways that met vertical and horizontal alignment criteria, that didn't have culverts, that couldn't take the weight of a 4-ton weight restriction, that had the width to accommodate and the structural capabilities to accommodate a 4-ton vehicles, that had limited amount of residential homes on them. So we're selecting these carefully. Once we come up with something, now we have to meet with the neighboring municipalities, because how can we end a truck route at the ends of our municipality that enters into another municipality without telling those engineers, those business administrators, those mayors? So then we set up a meeting with them, and they gave us great feedback, and they were supportive. And they said, hey, once you're done, let us know how it goes with DOT, if they're going to approve it. They were very receptive, and we took their comments. We made changes to our maps based on their comments, and that's what you see. You see the municipal roadways identified on that map that tie you into the state and county highways. We don't identify the state and county highways as truck route maps because that's de facto, right? And so we try and connect those. Like, for example, Texas Road from here, that takes you from Old Bridge almost to the New Jersey State, to the Turnpike. Right? So a section of that piece between County Route 527 and the Monroe border, that's Township. So that piece is identified, but you'll notice that the rest of the piece of Texas Road is not identified, and that's a county route, because this is strictly identifying municipal roadways that can tie in state and county. So that's what you're looking at that map. Well, no. So the similar to when you're in your car and you're using your GPS, similar to that when you see your speed limit sign come up, this then gets distributed to DOT. DOT then distributes this in their network, so that the truck drivers are aware what's identified as a truck route, what's not. They know that state highways and counties are identified. They want to know what's outside of that. Now, a lot of the problems that we're having with Phillips Drive and Sergeant Atlack and Sergeant Maniconis were helping me and the engineering department on this. We had met, and I don't know if anybody saw us out there, on Ferry Road, the intersection of Ferry Road and Route 9. There's a problem in the morning, and obviously during peak hours, but specifically at the intersection of Route 9 and Ferry Road and the intersection of Perrine and Route 9. And so what happens, especially with the Perrine and Route 9, truckers don't want to stop. They don't want to be in traffic. Their bread and butter is getting to their destination. So now what do? They try and find alternate ways to skip that Perrine light. So they sometimes use Phillips Drive to get to Cottrell, to go up to 34, and then to, scoot in by Old Road. We heard Old Road before. And enter Route 9 northbound and skip all those lights. They also do another one where they're going on Schulmeister Road. They're connecting to Old Road that way, and then they're coming up on on Route 9 that way. They're trying to skip the traffic. The Ferry Road, they can't skip. But once they come up north and they start grabbing onto, Phillips Drive or to Schulmeister or to roads like that, they start trying to skip out on the traffic. And that's not only, truck traffic, that's vehicular traffic. We met with DOT on the Route 9 and Ferry Road to try and make that signal a little bit better. We saw some improvements lately. Sergeant Atlack and I have been noticing that it's like reverting. But there's an anomaly on Ferry Road in that there's a pedestrian camera beacon that's facing down that gets actuated, I don't know, when the wind blows. And so that's a problem. And then the Perrine one, I think, is strictly timing. They're giving a little bit more green to the minor roadway instead of the Route 9 and opposite.
Does this prevent the trucks from going on Phillips Drive and going on Poor Farm Road?
This truck route map would. Listen, it's signed that you can't go right now on Phillips Drive. It enables our officers to give out tickets. Right now, they can't. Unless they're speeding, unless they're and then remember, our officers have to be there at the exact moment an 18-wheeler is going down there. They'd have to be stationed out there all day. There's about 3 people in our traffic bureau, in our police traffic bureau, right, that are, out there. Can we strategically station them all the time? That's impossible.
No.
So right now, they're waiting for somebody to speed instead of waiting just to see a truck coming down those roads.
So this would prevent them from trying to circumvent Phillips Drive and going on Rock Hill Road?
It would allow us to ticket them. Once we ticket them, they're going to get the hint.
Yeah. Okay, great. That's what we're looking for.
So if the resolution passes tonight, then this is giving me consent to submit the certification along with the map to DOT. And it's not to say they're going to come back and not have any comments. They might come back and say, we want more municipal roadways added to your truck route map. This isn't enough, Or they could say, okay, Nicole, we like it. I'm hoping it's the latter.
Mayor?
So,
Yes.
so as far as signage from Cottrell going down Phillips and also on Route 9 on Phillips, there's both signage there now, and these trucks have just ignored it? That covered?
Yeah, so there was one conversation I had with Mrs. DeBreezy, and I had said, Cottrell is a county roadway in that. I would have to get consent for me to put up a sign that says no truck making, like, let's say, a right or a left off of Cottrell onto Phillips Drive. When you turn onto Phillips Drive, then there's a 4-ton weight limit sign. One, the county would never give me permission unless I had an approved truck route map to do that. So now I can't even put that. And let's say you are a trucker and you make the right. There's nowhere to turn around. They're going to have to go through it. But the way I see on these Ring doorbells, the way these 18-wheelers are coming down Phillips, as if they own the roadway, as if it's not pedestrian on both sides, it's alarming. We're all, we all live in residential areas. We wouldn't want to see that coming down our street. So, certainly I feel for the residents of Phillips Drive, and I feel for the residents, on other streets as well,
Mr. Rizzoli?
Thank you, Council President. Mark, all this talk of enforcement made me think now, right now in New Jersey, I don't know if this law still is, only New Jersey State Police and county police, they have these weight teams, so they're specially trained cops who go out with portable weights. They inspect the trucks, tires, whether it's safe or not. Maybe we could look up something, we can do a resolution to our legislative, maybe to amend that to where municipalities, since we don't have a county police department, obviously, to make an amendment where towns like ours who have a lot of state roads with a lot of truck traffic can put our own unit together to have it go by. I could be wrong, I haven't looked at it in a while. I think it falls under the state weight and measures. So it's called the weight team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's only limited cops who are allowed to be trained in it right now.
Correct, like anything else, but it is the state.
Right.
And I'm not sure about county, but definitely I know the state police.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's county police and state police are the only ones who are allowed. Maybe we can try to get an amendment to that. Obviously, we don't want a blanket thing for the whole state because every municipality doesn't have to deal with it like we do. I think if truckers know there's enforcement out there, it's like human nature. If they know there's enforcement, they're going to adhere to the rules of the road. But maybe we can look into that. Thank you.
Anyone else have a, yeah, I mean, I'll do the council and then I'll come to you, Mayor. Okay, yes, Mr.
Nicole, if and hopefully when this is approved, will we be going to the county to get the signs up?
Yeah, I mean, obviously in the problem areas, the whole reason is that you don't even have to put up a 4-ton weight restriction because there is a certified map that then goes to the truckers, right? But in problem areas like Phillips Drive, yeah, I would suggest, even on State Highway Route 9, that's how this came up, because I wanted to put a sign on Route 9 in the southbound direction to not make a right on Poor Farm Road when I had done that. And that's why this whole thing started up. That's why DOT sent that, yeah.
So once we get this, we could look to designate where we can get signs so we can try to alleviate some of it. Obviously, you're never going to alleviate human nature, and people are going to try to hit shortcuts, but at least this allows now our police department to ticket
Even
rightfully.
Ray's telling
Yes.
you crazy places to go. Anyone else down here? Okay, how about on
I
this
think, as you said, in the areas where most of these trucks go through, the worst areas, I think it would be valuable to have those signs, the weight restrictions, no trucks or anything. And I think it would give the residents peace of mind too, that we're making an effort, which is, I saw that accident off of Phillips and, it was awful. And they've been complaining about this for a long time, and I understand how it takes time, meeting with other townships, engineers, and in the state. So hopefully we just move this forward and get it done.
Mr. Pescetti?
Hi. White Oak Lane, I noticed a lot of truck traffic there since the warehouses have opened. I thought when it was in planning that they were going to restrict truck traffic on that road.
I was going down 516 and I saw an 18-wheeler coming down White Oak Lane, and I think he was trying to make a right. So now in the planning board stage, and Vina can correct me if I'm wrong, I could have sworn that they weren't permitted to go that way. But again, it's on the truck route map that geometry-wise, they are permitted. County road-wise, they are permitted. So there's no way that I could say that they're not permitted to be on White Oak Lane, at that point. Now, White Oak Lane at that point doesn't have residential homes that face it, right? It's commercial on one side, and then it's
apartments on the other.
Yes, but they're not fronting White Oak Lane.
They go there.
You can take another look. Pretty close.
Some of them, they're perpendicular. The drives are perpendicular,
They're parallel.
but set back.
Setback, yeah.
Yep.
All these
Like their address is not White Oak Lane.
Right.
Right. So, Mr. Councilman Pescetti, what are you saying? You're saying you want that to be restricted there?
Well, I don't think it would be that bad if they obeyed the speed limit, but they barrel down. And it's pretty scary. The truck that size barreling down White Oak Lane, and there's kids that live in those apartments,
Yep.
just waiting for something to happen.
So what I can do is we could send a blanket email to any of those warehouse owners and make sure that they are aware that their truck drivers are not to be speeding. And I know Sergeant Atlack has been having his traffic bureau go around, especially in like the newly CO'd buildings that have truck traffic, to kind of make sure that everybody is aware that they are watching. So I know that his unit is very on top of, making sure that, I guess, the newer commercial developments or the warehousing are aware of that. But I will have a conversation with him tomorrow, make sure.
Yeah, primarily FedEx ground trucks.
FedEx ground?
Mm-hmm.
So are they the 18-wheelers?
Oh, yeah.
FedEx ground? Okay, I have made a note of that, yep.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, before I turn it over to the mayor, I just want to say thank you, Nicole, for all the hard work that all of you did on this. You definitely have put the people at the forefront, and that's what's very important. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, and-
to take the time to really work through this is very important. We need people that are going to be very much pro Old Bridge, and you are, and so is all the rest of it. And the police department as well, trying to keep a handle on this. It's not an easy task, but it is very appreciated. We want to make sure the people are safe. We're trying the best we can. And thank you for all that hard work. And now, Mayor, you had something you wanted to add before we vote?
Yeah, we did have a lot of complaints about Phillips and Tisbro as well with the trucks. And like Nicole said, we had signs up about trucks, and I found out talking to her that the police could not enforce this because without this study. So that's why I asked her to move ahead with this study, and thank you guys for agreeing to doing the study, because now I think moving forward, I think if they see that people are getting ticketed, and plus it will be on the GPS of the truck drivers, they'll know that they can't go on those roads. Hopefully it's going to alleviate it. Plus we'll be sending the police out there, and just hopefully with some ticketing and word of getting around, it should stop. And now we can put the signs up, no trucks, once we have this study. So I think it's really important that we pass this.
Yeah, okay. We're good? Okay.
That's right. I just have one question. Nicole, how long does it typically take for them to approve this and all of that?
Yes.
And I only ask because, especially Phillips Drive, you have McDivitt.
I know, yeah, so.
Between the school buses in the morning and in the afternoon, obviously the quicker we can get this done, the better.
Yeah, so as soon as I
realize
get the
the
copy
school
of the
is there,
resolution, I know that Kate is going to provide me with 3 originals and signed and sealed, so I could send it with the certification report. When Anna and I were on the meeting with the business administrators and the engineers from the other town, one of the engineers I knew, I don't know if he said it at the meeting or he said it offline. He said something like, Nicole, I applaud that your Old Bridge Township is doing this. Please know. And he was a consultant. He's not only the consultant in that town, I don't want to name the town, because then you'll figure out who it is. But he's also a consultant in North Jersey. Now, he did it in North Jersey, and he submitted a certification report. And I know the town that he submitted the certification report for, and I don't know the ins and outs, but he said he was denied by DOT. But I feel like if we're allowed, let's just give them the benefit of the doubt first, and let's just see how it goes. But I would assume it's going to be something like at least 6 weeks till we hear back.
Okay. According to my 14-year-old, I'm very annoying, so if we need to be annoying, just let us know and we'll annoy them.
Yes.
Carl and I both have 14-year-olds. We apparently were very annoying to them.
Yes,
So
and I have a 12-year-old, 11 and 7, and I'm certainly annoying.
But anyway, but thank you also, Anna, our business manager, working with Nicole. You guys really make a big difference. You get the job done, both of you. Thank you very much. Motion? Oh, you want, okay.
Second.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Rizzoli. Roll call. Councilman DePalma.
yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes, and thank you again, everyone. Next will be C9, Councilman Merwin.
The scene, I was concerned when I was reading this in the very beginning, because it says located within a half mile of the Old Bridge Park and Ride. But then when you read the resolution, it's just the property, the stores and the old TGIF and all of that good stuff.
So it's the entire area to the north, right, to along northbound side until the border of Old Bridge and Sayreville, which covers a half-mile radius. So typically, when you are pursuing a transit village designation, you draw a half-mile radius from where the bus terminus is, and you cover the entire area. for now, we're focusing on just the northbound side because there are some vacant properties that NJ Transit is trying to dispose, and they're ripe for development. More importantly, even the shopping center, we have tried to revive it, but like I said, that center was developed probably in the 70s or 80s. That was the planning of that time. So they are so set back away from the highway that visibility is an issue. So you'll notice that most of the parking lots are empty, and that area is underutilized. It qualifies for redevelopment. And I actually started this work almost 7 years ago when I had reached out to NJDOT and NJ Transit to see if we can pursue a transit-oriented or transit village designation for that area, because once you get designated, it's a process, it's a long process, but once you get designated, it opens you up to a lot of state funding to do transportation improvements. But one of the steps is first to have area investigation study and then a redevelopment plan in place. Fortunately, what happened is almost 4 years ago, NJ Transit received an FTA grant to study the entire Route 9 corridor, starting from Old Bridge to Howell Township. There are 17 nodes, and they did a study to see if those nodes could be developed with transit-oriented development. But because I had started work sooner, I was able to catch up. The only holdup in between was when COVID happened, because one of the requirements is public participation. We couldn't have public to come in, but luckily last year, because of the state funding, the federal funding that NJ Transit got, we had 2 public hearings and were able to get public input too. So the natural next step for us is to have an area investigation study, a redevelopment plan in place, and submit to DOT so that we can get the transit village designation.
So my question is, this resolution for this transit thing will only be properties on the north side of the...
Yes, that is correct.
That includes Ford, that includes the Honda dealership and the McDonald's
Yes.
and all of that, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to make a point of order for Councilman Merwin. The TGIF's building got approved like a week ago and through zoning. It's going to be a Dunkin' Donuts. Just to let you know.
I don't drink coffee. Thank you.
Is he moving it? Now that little FYI, okay.
I'll move it if nobody else has anything.
Okay.
Second by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Roll call, Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquitti.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar. Motion
Go get
carries.
a cup of coffee. Okay. Next will be C12, Mr. Merwin, and then Mr. Von Stetten.
Go right ahead, go right ahead.
Oh, thank you. Just real quick, I just want to urge the council to vote yes on this because the fencing is needed to protect some of the updates that have happened over there with the basketball court, handball court, new pickleball courts that are going there. It's going to prevent some issues with parking because people like to park on that basketball court. I've seen it with my own eyes. So that should prevent that. And that was it. Thank you.
My question was, I thought we did this in-house.
No, so the fence.
We did the fencing in-house, yeah.
No, this fencing project was extensive. It was the entire basketball court, the tennis court, and now pickleball court area, as well as the handball court. It required removal. We removed the, Public Works removed the fencing that was around the tennis court, and then we had this put in. So we did save quite a bit of money from doing our own removal. This change order of 4,800 is, and I'll talk about this during my admin report, with some of the issues we've had the last several weeks. The original fencing that we had proposed for the handball court, we've decided to extend a little more just because of what we've been seeing in the parks. So that's what this change order is for.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone else have a question about it? No, move it.
Well,
Second?
Well, also, you've had an issue this past week in,
gonna say that.
yeah, so you go, yeah, okay. I think the fence is very important. I just wish people behave. Thank you.
We got a motion by Councilman Merwin. Did we get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Von Stetten. Roll call, Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes. Okay, so that's it for,
That's it for consent.
yep. Next will be report of the township clerk.
Number 13.
I have,
Did you separate that? See, I thought that's what I kept saying, but it was
Said
another one, 13.
12. I didn't really see
Yeah.
separated 13
Yeah.
also.
Okay, so you're gonna have to rescind the vote on it. And go
Right.
again. Okay.
You ready?
On 13.
Yep.
Okay. My question, I mean, we got to be planting a lot of trees with $100,000.
I knew I heard something.
We are. We're planting a lot of trees. We are. The bid came in at like $37,000. It's just a placeholder because we just put an arbitrary quantity of 10 on every specimen, and then that allows us then to get a unit cost like held. That's how we compare the bids with the other companies that had bid on the project. So Down to Earth was the lowest thing. I think they were our lowest on the last one too. What happens is, last year, we did the same thing and we awarded at whatever the 10 trees were. And now we run into Mr. Roselli saying we can't exceed the contract by more than 20%. So we don't want to run into that again. And so what we're trying to do. Okay, well, we're trying to make sure that we get our trees planted, and we have several areas, especially our parks. We mentioned Veterans Park, Cottrell Farm Park. We have trees planting in there, and we have our tree planting program where we allow residents, if they have a requirement to replant, we could plant it so long as it's within our right-of-way. So we do have a lot of areas identified.
And I see it comes out of the tree trust fund.
Yes, it
That's
does.
what you do from the developers knocking down their trees, right?
Right, so there was a conversation before on applications that come in front of our Planning and Zoning Board. Our conservation officer goes out to our developers, and they have to contribute if they're removing trees and they're clearing within their uplands area, and they're removing any heritage trees, they have to replace at a 5-to-1 ratio. And then when they're not replacing at a 5-to-1 ratio, they can pay into our tree trust fund, and then we use that money to plant elsewhere in town. You're welcome.
Motion?
Wait a second. The Shade Tree Commission encourages residents to plant trees. In fact, they'll supply the trees. They reach out. I know they do different areas. They'll send out notices to the doors. The unfortunate thing in the past, they went to homes and say, for example, the wife said she wanted a tree. We planted it, and the husband said, I don't want the tree. So they had to go take the tree. So now they have to sign a form. But if anyone wants a tree, please reach out to the Shade Tree Commission. We're happy to plant you a tree.
Or the engineering department, if that's easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Shade Tree Commission.
Yeah.
Buy homeowners a tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
We do. We do. We send out notices. We walk door to door. It's on the website. On Old Bridge Day, they're there giving out plants. They talk to people. Definitely. You'd be surprised how many more people want to take down trees than put them up.
Well, there's always, that people get a little, whatever.
If nobody else has anything, I move it.
Okay. Moved by Councilman Merwin. Can I get a second? Second by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Roll call. Councilman DePalma?
Yes.
Councilman Desai?
Yes.
Councilman Merwin?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquitti?
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli?
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Okay, next will be our report of the township clerk.
I have no report, Council President.
Okay, the attorney.
Nothing to report, Madam President, thank you.
Okay, Anna, your administrative report, please.
Thank you. Before I go into my admin report, I did want to make a few comments. So over the last several weeks, we've experienced a troubling increase in vandalism, loitering, and other destructive behavior at several of our parks. Incidents have included individuals occupying the pickleball courts at Menino while not utilizing them and preventing residents from using the facilities, vandalism and arson-related activity at Veterans Park, graffiti on the pavilion at Geik Park, and the illegal dumping of garbage, including a door, bus seats, and other debris at Fifth Street Playground, which is a neighborhood playground down Englishtown Road. Additionally, racial and anti-Semitic messages were found written on playground equipment, which is completely unacceptable and contrary to the values of our community. These incidents are particularly disappointing given the significant investment that we have recently made over the last several years and continue to make in improving our parks, playgrounds, athletic facilities, and recreational facilities for all of our residents. In response, the township has increased police patrol throughout our park system, and we have directed our evening and weekend supervisors to immediately report any suspicious activity or acts of vandalism. We are also working to identify those responsible and will hold them accountable. We ask all residents to remain vigilant. If you witness suspicious activity, vandalism, or damage to township property, please contact the Old Bridge Police Department immediately. Protecting our parks is a shared responsibility, and together we can ensure these community spaces remain safe, welcoming, and enjoyable for everyone. This has been, I know I sound probably a little annoyed by it because it's been annoying the last several weeks. Our police department obviously has gotten involved, our public works department, our parks department. We've all had to go back out and remove these things, clean up these things, and we take quick action on these things. Recently, the fire department went to a fire right behind Veterans Park, which Veterans Park is a park, there's a lot of tree, and we are very fortunate that where the fire was did not take more of our park and the softball fields, but also the homes that are behind it, So this is very disappointing. I am very disappointed, and I hope that we can do better. We are improving our parks so that they are more utilized. This is why we are making all these improvements. JCP&L is actively working on the light situation that we have in Veterans Park, so it's better lit. But we hope the increased use of the parks will also keep people from being able to do these things, because if they see more people using it, they won't have the opportunity to go and damage these properties, Our basketball court at Vets, I believe somebody said that it's used as a parking lot. That's not untrue. I've seen the pictures, the ATVs, the vehicles. We also, I believe it was last year, we had somebody actually take down one of our fence posts to put a car onto the soccer field at Vets Park. So, and then they made sure to put the post back after they were done doing what they were doing on the field. But this just increases damage, and we want to continue to do these things for our parks, but it's frustrating for us, for our employees, and for the people that want to use these facilities, So we want to make sure that we are staying vigilant. We ask for your help. If you are in the parks and you see something, you don't have to confront, just call, the police department, and we can send a patrol car out there. And our park supervisors are hyper vigilant right now with everything going on. And that's why we had to add all the fencing at Veterans Park around those areas. So, and we have camps starting on June 29th. So during the daytime, we'll have our campers at Veterans Park and other facilities throughout town. So we want to keep those areas and those spaces nice and clean and safe, so that we can enjoy our parks as best as we can. So I'm sorry I got to I got on my soapbox a little tonight, but I wanted to make sure that we put this out there. So, and then just very quickly, my admin report. Old Bridge will host the annual Middlesex County Household Hazardous Waste event on Sunday, June 28th at the Municipal Complex. The event runs from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and will be held rain or shine. Middlesex County residents can bring harmful chemicals, gasoline, fire extinguishers, pesticides, pool chemicals, and more for safe disposal. For more information, please visit oldbridge.com/recycling. On Thursday, July 9, 2026, Silver Linings at Old Bridge, our senior center, will host a New Jersey Division of Taxation in-person filing event for Form PAS1 in collaboration with Senator Henry's office and Assemblyman Rob Clifton and Alex Suiki with the support of Mayor Debbie Walker. This event is to assist residents with filing the 2025 Form PAS1, which serves as the application for property tax relief for seniors and certain disability recipients. The PAS1 form combines applications for the property tax reimbursement or senior freeze, anchor, and stay in New Jersey programs. The deadline for submitting the 2025 form is November 2nd, 2026. The in-person filing assistant, again, will take place on July 9th at the Senior Center from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. No appointment is necessary, and you do not need to be a member of the Senior Center to attend. For more information, contact Silver Linings at Old Bridge at 732-721-5600, extension 6600. And then just finally, as you know, on Saturday, July 18th, we'll be hosting our 250th anniversary event at Cottrell Park from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. This is a joint event with the school district. We're very excited. We're going to kind of try to bring it back to Colonial Williamsburg a little bit in that park. So we're excited to do that. But we're also very excited to announce tonight a follow-up event that evening as well on Saturday, July 18th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., a America 250 drone show. So we will be doing this at Menina Park. The drone show will begin at about 9:15 a.m. We'll have about p.m. Sorry, it has to be at night. Thank you. 200 drones will be information. We'll have patriotic light and music, a DJ, food trucks, and it will be a family-friendly event. We want to thank our sponsors for making this event possible: Elizabeth's Italian Restaurant, Hackensack Meridian Old Bridge Medical Center, and Amboy Bank. And there will be a rain date of July 19th in case it rains. And this concludes my report.
We have a motion to accept the business administrator's report.
Does anybody have any questions for Anna? I see some hands.
Was there any arrest in the soccer field?
Mike?
In Veterans
Was there
Park?
any arrest made in the soccer field caper?
No, not yet. They're still investigating. Yep.
Okay. So we should put the plea out here, turn them in.
Anyone
Anyone
else?
else down this way? Anybody good? Yeah, Carl, you're,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Anybody else have any comment or question for Anna? No? Okay, seeing no hands, then motion to
Move it.
accept.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli, second by Councilman Von Stetten. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the administrator's report is accepted.
Thank you very much, Anna. And everyone, like Mr. Merwin said, if you do see something, please say something. You know, we're all in this together, and the parks are beautiful. They're really coming along, and we want everybody to enjoy. So if something goes on and you see it, just let the police know. It's, once we hopefully find some of these people, it'll stop. Okay, next is going to be public comment on any subject matter for a maximum period of 3 minutes.
The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. This section is open for any topic or items on the consent agenda. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Old Bridge Rules of Council, the council asks the public to limit their comments to 3 minutes or less. Only one member of the public shall approach to speak to council at a time. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until the speaker is finished with their allotted time. Should be further noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the corresponding department's office during regular business hours. Township clerk will regulate the time during the comment portion of our meeting. As you approach the microphone, please state your name, no addresses. Can we get a motion, though, to open to the public?
Yeah.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Von Stetten, second by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We're now open to public comment portion.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, Council President. This is one of those times where I feel like Kylie Denny and Old Bridge. This is one of those times that I feel like I need more than 3 minutes because there's just so much that's gone on tonight watching the video. I mean, obviously, I'm concerned also about the redevelopment and what the impact may be on the local schools. Beyond that, I am also continually concerned, as I know we've talked about before, the sidewalk issue. But I think what I've been seeing online, people posting about the Jersey Freeze, I think there's probably going to be a parking issue as well at this point, where I think people are going to wind up parking at Wawa and they're going to be walking over, and I think that parking lot's going to be filled. And I'm concerned for the small businesses that are inside of that shopping plaza, because I'm concerned, especially during the summertime, that it's going to be overloaded. And I don't know what the council can do to potentially address that if that happens, but I just hope that that is monitored. I watched about the data center, which I appreciate you looking into that and moving something forward. Beyond that, I ultimately don't think this should be pushed to municipalities. I think this is a state and federal issue, what is going on with these centers. But with that said, I do think that different municipalities should look at instituting some kind of trigger law in place where if you have a moratorium or if you have a ban that is overturned, that you still have certain construction standards in place to minimize the environmental and economic harm that some of these facilities would generate, such as a closed loop cooling system so that we're not pulling out God knows how many gallons of water from our local supply, mandating that energy costs are not pushed back onto the local taxpayers. I think that's especially important in a town like ours when we have our own municipal utilities authority that we're financing, as well as instituting decibel limits about ambient noise that is pushed out to local residents. And I've not been seeing that, quite frankly, across New Jersey municipalities looking at that portion of it. Again, I'm advocating for what would essentially be a trigger law. If you do go ahead and pass a ban and that ban is overturned, that there's a harm reduction measure that would immediately take place for all future development applications. So that's, I think, just about everything that I have time for, but good evening.
Dean, can you just write on so we have the correct spelling?
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Diana DeBrizzi. I'm a Phillips Drive resident for 31 years. I'd first like to thank the council for helping by agreeing to support the resolution to send those documents to Trenton. Again, my thanks goes out to Nicole Shapiro and her team. I just wanted to tell you that it's very important that if the DOT declines this, that we keep pushing, because what we're seeing now, because I'm right on Phillips Drive, is tank wagons coming off Route 9, and I'm surmising they're bringing gasoline to the Wawa up on 34. So we're not only seeing 18-wheelers now, we're also seeing tank wagons. So that's something I wanted to address. I also wanted to just throw it out there again. The speeding on Phillips Drive is still a major issue. I'm there 31 years. We had a young one-year-old German Shepherd that got out the gate. The parents didn't realize it, and the dog was found dead right next to the driveway by the entrance into Phillips Drive. Into McDivitt School. God forbid that had been a kid. So it is a big problem there. And then to Dave, since you weren't involved, maybe or heard, we did submit pictures of a 18-wheeler going through the Halloween parade out on Phillips Drive for McDivitt. So it is a problem. It continues to be a problem. And I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. God forbid something bad happens. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening, Jill DeCaro, Old Bridge.
First, I want to thank you for voting to move the data center ban to second reading. I hope that next meeting, when it is up for vote, that it will be a unanimous vote, that you guys will all band together and vote unanimously, because you did hear last meeting a lot of residents speaking on it. I'm also glad you're submitting the report to the NJDOT. To help the residents of the Arbors. As former Ward 4 councilwoman, I know firsthand they have had a lot of trouble, first with speeding cars and now with trucks. It's really a nightmare for them, as Mr. Brizzi just spoke about. So at least we're trying to take care of the trucks, and hopefully the speeding will come after that. What I'm also here to talk about is what happens when people come before you with concerns that you may not agree with. Unfortunately, one of the council members who most needs to hear this isn't here tonight, but these residents are looking to you, the people sitting in positions of authority, to listen, not necessarily to agree, but to listen. And it's okay to disagree, but it's okay to say you disagree. But it doesn't give anyone the right to be dismissive and to make people feel inferior, which is what I saw last meeting in some of the council comments. If someone has incorrect information, which is highly possible, correct it respectfully with facts. The problem is that too often what's presented as the truth turns out not to be necessarily true. And when that happens repeatedly, it becomes difficult for residents to trust what they're being told. In closing, I'd like to once again request updates, as I've done in the past, from committees and boards that council members serve on as liaisons. What's happening with the planning board and the zoning board, what's happening with open space, rent stabilization, the rec board, housing authority. Are there developments? If there are developments coming up, if there are developments, upcoming meetings, projects, or opportunities for public participation, residents should hear about them. It's something that your council comments would be perfect for. Residents deserve to know what is happening in these areas. And so, again, instead of spending council comments on prepared speeches, use that time to update the public on the work being done on their behalf. People aren't coming out to get yelled at. They're looking for information, transparency, and leadership. Thank you.
Hi, Paul Moravec, Ward 6 in Brunswick Avenue. I have some photos I wanted to give. I can't really hand them. Thank you. Sorry, I only have 4 copies. My printer was giving me troubles.
What are we looking at? What is it?
Okay. Yeah, I was, again, Paul Moravec, Ward 6, Brunswick Avenue. I was here a little over a year ago. We had a big issue with person, they cut a bunch of trees down and left all the stumps. Well, they finally cleaned the stumps up in July of last year due to all of you guys' effort. However, we still have a couple of ongoing issues there. He left a bunch of debris on the property. And after speaking to Vicky Enriquez in engineering, he was supposed to remove it. All he did was move it from the residential property lot to his own residential property on 1233 Englishtown Road. So we still see all the trash. Additionally, he's still been operating a business on the residential property of 1233 Englishtown Road. And I speak to Mike Farrow all the time, and he has been diligently working this issue. I see his vehicle there all the time. He's written up multiple summonses. He's brought him into court. The Slick Rick has been able to leverage our judicial system. He gets continuances, adjournments. Then when he finally does show up and he pleads guilty, he gets minimal fines, and then he just goes right back to doing what he's been doing. So you'll see the pictures there. These are pictures from today of all of his vehicles, a dump truck, a pool truck, and then he uses Brunswick Avenue as his driveway across a residential property to even get to do all of his business stuff. So either our ordinance needs some adjustment, or maybe our fines need to be adjusted. Maybe we put a 0 every time someone, the second offense, the third offense, so that it's enough of a deterrent to get people to move to action. This has been going on for over 2 years now. And if he can do this, personally, anybody can do this. They'll see it in the town, and we'll have this all over, just ruining our beautiful town. So that's my plea to you, is to not only do something for me, but do something to prevent this from happening to other places within our town. And then lastly, on a happier note, I want to wish you all a nice, happy 4th of July. And as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the founding of our great nation. And I also wanted to thank the council. I've been following you diligently, passing the budget. It was, I know, a hard budget year. And I wanted to thank you all for your efforts within the town council.
Thank you.
Just make sure your name is on the list for me, please, sir.
Yes, please sign.
Madam President, if I could, I just want to address the penalty provision. So the penalties that municipalities can impose are set by state statute, and we currently have the maximum that you're allowed. The assessment, however, is in the discretion of the judge. So, the prosecutor can make recommendations. The prosecutor is not myself, but ultimately it's up to the judge to set the penalties. And so, there's limits to what the township can do. But again, the penalties that we have are the max, and that the statute, a state statute governs that. So, but I'll follow up also with our zoning officer relative to this particular property. And I can also check with the prosecutor, see when he was last there, try to get an idea of the process and in that regard as well. So, thank you.
Nina Joknowitz. First, isn't the agenda supposed to be online before the meeting? Because I can't pull up the agenda from this meeting, which meant the hyperlinks are unavailable to the resolution that you guys were voting on first reading. I'm kind of surprised by that. That's first. And then second, I think the gentleman, he spoke about this before, but the property that he's talking about, they never took out permits for the trees, if I'm correct. And then when they were fined, the fines were less than the cost of the permitting that for the 3 or 4 acres that he clear cut without a single permit. That's first. The second thing is that there's a number of things. I think the resolution is a great idea, but there's a number of things that somebody's going to speak about later that are missing from the resolution. And as to White Oak Lane is not the only place trucks are barreling down. West Greystone Road is a perfect street where we've had already deaths on the road. We've, of course, had roadkill on the road. There are trucks traveling down each of these lanes. While you're going to be doing a full survey of trucks and travel routes, it is really important to recognize the fact that these roads are residential roads. I know my road is very, very sparsely populated, but residential roads where people die, people have had accidents, very bad accidents on my street because they're speeding and other things. But then again, these trucks are coming down. We need to do something about it. And to the point of White Oak Lane, you're right. There are houses that are apartments facing the road, children on that street. I see them all the time visiting my friends in Glenwood over there. It's disgusting. It shouldn't be. That was actually described. That was actually part of when during COVID, the construction of the warehouses. There was an agreement that they weren't going to be using that road for tractor trailers. There was a discussion, and I'm pretty sure Erica DePalma will remember that one because I spoke on that. But there was supposed to be no tractor trailers on that road, right? And the same with Jake Brown Road, right? Those were the 2 streets that were going to be heavily hit. They were concerned about. So I don't know why you're not addressing that now. But then there's one more thing I hate to tell you, to talk about. There's the data center. Data center discussions. There is a building on what plan, not yet been discussed in planning and zoning, on the warehouses on White Oak Lane, on Waterworks Road, which everybody's been talking about for a long time. They're updating the water systems. The county has approved, which was applied to by this town, to update the water systems to that area to handle increased water capacity. Makes me wonder if another data center plan is going to be going over there too. That would be absolutely horrible. The $1 million houses that are being put right behind there doesn't belong there. We have to clean up the Superfund sites. Thank you.
Ms. Jocknowitz, can you please? Thank you.
Thank you. Let me tell her. Good evening.
The agenda is up on the website, Ms. Jocknowitz.
I just accessed it at the beginning of the meeting and just now as well. I confirmed it's up.
Yes. What? Oh, okay.
Can I start or?
Good evening.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and fellow Old Bridge residents. My name is Marie-Camille Wicks, lifer of Old Bridge. I want to start by saying clearly that I support the ordinance prohibiting data centers and AI processing facilities in our township, which was definitely the right decision. This council heard those concerns and they acted, and that is exactly what responsive local government should look like. Hoping any council members who were in favor of the data center change their minds after future research and how it can not only harm others, but specifically also your families and your loved ones, because you are people before you are political positions. So however, I'm here tonight because I believe the ordinance needs one important improvement before the second reading. So as currently written, and from my understanding, the definition of a data center relies on the word primarily. That single word creates a potential loophole and for future legal arguments. A developer can propose a so-called mixed-use project, maybe with small retail or office space, etc., warehouse, while the majority of the building houses server infrastructure or AI equipment. Then when challenged, their attorney could easily argue that the data center is not the primary use, but also secondary or incidental. And this is not actually a hypothetical concern, because it is well-known legal strategy that's being used in other municipalities. So as we leave the door open, we could risk facing exactly that same argument here in OB. So the fix can be simple and straightforward. I respectfully ask the council to request the township attorney to strengthen the language by removing the word primarily from the definition, making clear that data centers are prohibited whether they are principal, secondary, accessory, or incidental use, explicitly including mixed-use and multi-use developments, and clarifying that the prohibition applies regardless of how a project is labeled or described. This ensures that no developer can avoid the ordinance simply by rebranding or restructuring a proposal on paper or a waiver. Because if this ordinance is passed with that gap still in place, we might find ourselves a year or two from now defending it in court like we have in the past against a project that is functionally a data center, just called something else. It is far easier and far less costly to get the language right now prior to going to court. Again, I support the ordinance and appreciate the council's effort to protect our community. I am simply asking that we make sure the protections we put in place are strong, clear, and enforceable. And thank you for taking the opportunity to possibly close this loophole before adoption of second reading. Thank you.
Right. Good evening.
Hi, I'm Mariah. I would just like to applaud you guys for passing the ordinance or moving it. I think our next step should be, as a township, to bring up a discussion about the flock cameras. We have in Monroe and Sayreville, both townships, or the township and borough, has decided to use flock cameras as a way of surveillance on their residents. And I see that Old Bridge has yet to make a decision on that. And I think this would be a perfect time to bring it to the council to ban it. There has been, let's see, there are other counties, I mean not counties, townships that have banned it, not necessarily in New Jersey, but in other states. So Washington, Colorado, Minnesota, Wyoming. So I implore you guys to look into how flock cameras can be a violation of our Fourth Amendment rights by constantly surveilling our every move, and why we should take the preventative step on banning them in our township. Thank you.
Mariah, could you please just sign for us? Anybody who has spoken that has not signed, if you could please make sure you sign the list up front so we can make sure we spell your name correctly in the minutes.
Good evening. My name is Nestor Rivera, and I live on Phillips Drive. I'm okay with that. That's fine. I live on 70 Phillips Drive. So that's the part that's straight. That's past the turns, and that's where the raceway takes place. I have my daughter. She loves to play basketball. She plays travel basketball. She's out there shooting. And I can't tell you how many times I've yelled at people just zooming down the block. I just want to add it to the layer so you see that this is a serious problem. And it would only be a matter of time before somebody gets hurt. This beautiful weather, we have our residents that love to go for their walks. They're on the sidewalk, some of them are jogging. We take our dogs for our walks. And it's to the point that these, I don't want to say kids, but it's a speeding problem there. I would think that maybe we could put speed humps. I know there's been issues with that, but I've been in towns congested such as Union City, North Bergen, Guttenberg, and they got speed bumps in these little streets. I don't understand why we can't put them on this two-sided street just to slow down. I don't understand that. We need to find a way to slow down these drivers. I've been on that block 16 years. Thank God none of my 3 children have been hurt, but I still have a young girl, and she loves to stay out there and shoot that ball around. I have residents that have their basketball courts. That ball sometimes bounces and just trickles down the driveway. I would hate to see anyone, especially my neighbors or my own children, be hurt. If we could do something about it, I really would appreciate that. Thank you.
Good evening, Joe Milarusso. I just want to applaud the measures that are taken for the traffic here, especially the truck routes. I think that's a good step. My view is I am concerned that this will not completely deter what is going on in terms of the industry. I mean, I think we can all agree that, the town has exploded in the past couple of years in terms of big industry, and these trucks are coming from somewhere. It's not just White Oak Lane, it is Red Oak Lane, it is 516, it is pretty much every auxiliary road. So I just wanted to mention a couple things here. In the past few years, our town was literally, lines were drawn and our business deals were made. Our farmers were bought out, and every decision that has been made has affected every resident of our town here. The Central 9 Logistics Park has invaded our town, polluted our community, ripped apart our landscape, and only to replace it with fast food, dystopian warehouses, and gas stations. Old Bridge, you guys need to understand that these developments don't just happen out of nowhere. They are business deals that happen with our town through a public and private partnership. It is up to our officials here to negotiate for us. Once upon a time, developers came in our community and they built schools for us. They built elementary schools. I'm sorry, but a golf course on the other side of Old Bridge is not gonna cut it. That is not something that benefits the community at large here. Open space is now a luxury that we are passing a tax along to the residents for. And I'm seeing residents eager to pull out their wallets, right? And I just find that really pathetic, quite honestly, because we are seeing these open spaces being put in neighborhoods of our town officials. So we really need to start asking questions here about what's going on when we are promised big changes, but the big changes that we're seeing are not good changes. 2 weeks ago, I asked a question, what type of businesses are being operated in Central 9 Logistics Park? Well, I did my research. I came back, and I just want to present here. This is very easy to look up yourself. I came across an article from Real Estate New Jersey. It says one of the companies, KCL Fulfillment, is at Building 5 on 800 Fairway Lane. This is a large parcel AI-enabled fulfillment provider. It's a multinational company. If you guys want to see inside, I went to their website. There is a robot that is moving around large parcels. And then if you go to the Central 9 Logistics Park website, they have the nerve to, no, I'm going to finish. They have the nerve to advertise to us that we have an untapped labor. I'm sorry.
I can't do that. It has to be the same for everyone. Not done in any way other than we have to keep it for 3 minutes for everyone. Is there anybody else? No? Okay, seeing no hands, I will close the public portion. I will go to council comments.
Councilman Merwin made a motion to close. Can we get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Rosoli.
Yes, ma'am.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. We're closed to public comment portion. Moving on to council member comments. Councilman DePalma.
Yes, thank you, Kate. So real quick, just congratulations to all the Old Bridge High School students that graduated today. Good luck. Good luck in all your endeavors, whether it's college, trades, or whatever other path that you choose. You know, I wish you all the best of luck, and I know you'll all make Old Bridge very, very proud. Also to all of the students that graduated, whether it was the elementary or Salk or Sandburg, congratulations as well, and good luck in your next school as you move up. Happy 4th of July to everybody, and happy 250th to our nation. As we are coming up on 4th of July, please everyone be careful. It's the once in 6 or 7 years. Can't believe I just said 6, 7, so I apologize. That we do have a 4th of July on a Saturday. So please, if you are out and you are about, whether it's the Friday, which is the holiday that is observed by banks and the stock market, or throughout the weekend, please make sure you are careful. Take an Uber, right? Please stay off the roads. As we heard a lot of residents talk about speeding. You know, speeding happens throughout the day. It happens at night. I know we've had a number of incidents at night. In my neighborhood a number of years ago, car flipped over in a very sparsely driven residential neighborhood. So please make sure that everybody is careful as you go out. And Anna, awesome job on drones instead of fireworks. I know I've seen, obviously, I am hoping that this is as good as the one that Disney World puts on. But I've seen some of these drone shows and they're pretty amazing. There's no loud noises. I know one of the biggest complaints we get, especially around this time of year, is the noise coming from fireworks and some of the fear that happens with dogs. This, especially being in Menino, where it's surrounded by a lot of residential, I think this is a great option, and hopefully this is something we can move forward in the future and do so. Thank you and the rest of the administration for doing that. And one thing on the AI ban, and I know we've talked about this a lot and I won't belabor it. Last week we talked about having a moratorium. When I said do a ban, it's the better thing. The ban itself, like I said last week, is a reinforcement of our zoning laws. Our zoning laws do not allow data centers within any of our zones. With the exception, as we talked about last week, there are 2 redevelopment plans that have it. The one of them we know is not going to be built. They don't even have an application in front of us. The other one is under litigation. I know sitting on a planning board, whether it's the Route 9 warehouses coming to us or any other warehouse coming to us, we're not putting a data center. The water infrastructure that's getting upgraded is not for a data center, right? It will not happen. For long as I'm on the zoning board, I will tell you, the planning board, I will tell you that will not vote in favor of putting a data center in town. The more and more you do the research, you understand some of the externalities that happen. It's just the humming that happens afterwards, right? You hear it all day and all night. And I know we have complaints from just some of truck traffic that you hear. The Route 9 traffic, I hear people, what can we do about the noise on Route 9, right? Just amplify that with a warehouse that is humming, even at a low decibel, right? We want to make sure that doesn't happen. So as we move forward and as we put this forward at the next meeting, and I don't know if it's going to be the next one or the meeting afterwards, we have to meet with the planning board first to move it, and then it'll go to second reading. But just know that this council has the best interest of this township. There are no deals behind scenes to put a data warehouse anywhere within this town, right? We will fight it. Once this goes through, we will fight tooth and nail to make sure that it doesn't happen. All right. Not everyone, please enjoy the holiday, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Councilman Desai.
Good evening, everyone. The school are on vacation. They are closed. The children, young children playing around in neighborhood. So my request to all residents to drive carefully and look after the children playing in the street. Also, I like to wish everybody happy 258th year of USA. And enjoy the 4th of July responsibility. If you use the fireworks in neighborhood, make sure it is safe and it is not going to ruin anyone's property. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Councilman Merwin.
I think that Desai's reading my notes over here. I don't know.
The school is school.
Yeah, school is getting out. Remember that. All right? You heard Eric say they graduated today, and the grammar schools and all of them all closed. The kids are going to be out playing. Keep that in mind. We love our kids. And I just want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July, happy 250th. And just a question to the attorney. Mark, the ban on the AI, the total ban, is that a problem?
Is it a problem? So, and I wasn't here last week. I wish I had been because it wouldn't have gone out of hand as it did. That being said, you got to understand how municipal land use law works, right? There's no such thing as a ban. And the same idea of a moratorium, we had talked about that. Municipal land use law limits moratoriums for certain things, but you need a study first. So in this instance, when we had been communicating via email, you talked about a 3-year moratorium, which couldn't happen. And before you can institute a moratorium, there needs to be a study done by an engineer, as there needs to be a health safety reason. With respect to, again, and Councilman De Palma mentioned it, currently the township's land development ordinance does not permit data centers. The way municipal land law works is that unless a use is expressly permitted, then it's not, and then you need to get a use variance, right? So currently, if you look at the land development ordinance, you go through all the uses in the zones that are created, data centers are not created. So what does this do? And again, as Councilman De Palma says, it sort of just reinforces what's already there. I think he had mentioned the reason why municipalities don't have that option that you were talking about is because the fact that it's not a permitted use, right? So the question becomes, you're sort of trying to hedge your bets. But those same issues, what would happen if somebody, as they could do now, and even with the adoption of this ordinance, they would need to go to the zoning board and seek a use variance. That's the step. That's the process that the law allows for property owners to develop property. But obviously, a use variance, it's a lot more difficult when it's not permitted, and they would have to put in all of their proofs to generate, and to support the granting of use. Now, some of the issues that you brought up, those are some of the issues that a zoning board would ask, right? Because those are important, and they'd have to generate all that. So to answer your question, it's not, you can do it because you currently have it that way, and a lot of municipalities are moving this direction. But again, and I don't know who mentioned it, the real solution is, unfortunately, local municipalities are limited. It's at the state level. The state, this legislature and a governor, and they've been approached. If you look back, you've seen that there's many groups have approached the governor's office about banning it. At New York, the legislature actually did adopt a moratorium, because they can, for a year, but the governor in that instance apparently did not sign the bill. So all these issues, and again, you mentioned that too, the solution for data centers, because is at the state level. We as municipalities are limited in what we can do. Again, it's not a permitted use. And then so that, but that wouldn't prevent someone to try to get a use variance, but it's that much harder. And as Councilman De Palma said, there are two exceptions. There's two redevelopment plans, but the one redevelopment plan, the Route 9 Jake Brown Road intersection, while data centers were permitted use, the lots on which they were permitted, and it wasn't within the whole redevelopment area, the redeveloper already has approvals there, and they're not for data centers. And the Crossroads one was adopted back in 2004. So that was adopted in 2004, and data centers were always a permitted use in that redevelopment plan. But again, it's not the whole plan, it's only specific areas. Now, the township owns the area where the data centers are permitted at this point, right? We own that component of Crossroads. And so what has to happen ultimately is those plans, the way redevelopment law works, those supersede the local zoning. So ultimately, we'll have to amend the redevelopment plans to exclude it. The Route 9 Jake Brown intersection, because that redeveloper has his approval and there's other changes we're going to make, that's not going to be a problem. The Crossroads, and we're going to talk about it in executive session, there is litigation that's ongoing with that property, but even then, I think ultimately, that's a decision that was made back in 2004. And if you remember, data centers were a lot different back then than they are today, and they were a lot smaller. And especially a lot of that movement came after 9/11. A lot of the people out were leaving New York to do it. So that's something that's been there since then. Now, again, since 2004, there's never been an application, even though it's been permitted use in that, right? The town's never received one. So that's a long answer to a short response where, no, we can do it, but we're not going to stop everybody, right? Somebody can still, if they wanted to, file an application for use variance. But again, it's a lot harder.
I mean, do you foresee that we have to have any amendments or anything to what we passed tonight?
Well, when we introduce, and I'll take the comments. I'll take a look at the ordinance that were made by the young lady relative to that, because it was, try to do it was broad enough where we could do, you try to anticipate everything that you possibly can. So if we can, those types of changes won't be substantive, because the substantive aspect of it is the Band-Aid centers, right? So it's a matter if a couple words are there, won't necessarily change it.
Okay, that's mine. Thank you.
Good. Councilman Pasquini.
Happy 4th, everyone.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Thank you. I know we had a resident speak about the impact on individuals regarding the data centers, but when you start expanding research outside of that, raises a lot of red flags, especially for parents. And I think, I took some notes here. It has, an individual who excessively uses ChatGPT can develop emotional dependencies, exhibit addictive behaviors, or experience cognitive debt, where reliance on AI weakens memory retention and critical thinking. I think I've had a few teacher friends of mine who have to have things in place to check homework. It's starting to enter all aspects of professional life. I mean, I know a few attorneys have gotten in some hot water with judges by using AI to do some briefs. I'm not saying you, because it's not exactly accurate.
I had a judge tell me to use it, and I looked at him and said, "Wow."
Well, you heard smoke signals when you were in law school, so. But seriously, I really, parents gonna have their hands cut out trying to keep track of, what's going on with the AI and the ChatGPT, which is all relevant. With that said, don't forget St. Ambrose Carnival, June 23rd to the 27th. Tonight is just about over. Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Friday, 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. And happy 4th of July. Thank you.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Thank you. Thank you to all the residents who spoke. You brought up some issues that we need to look at. Real quick, I don't have anything to report for the Parks and Rec meetings because we haven't had one yet this month. I think there's going to be one next Wednesday, but I will not be here. I'll be on vacation, so I will not be attending. Some of the other councilmen who are on that board could, fill us in on the report. I'm not going to really go much more into the 5th Street Park thing that Anna talked about. I think she said what needed to be said. I just want to thank some of the kids that were at the park with me when we were cleaning it up. My wife and I were walking with our kids and we saw that issue and we started cleaning it up. We took the stuff out of the park, put it in front so that Public Works could pick it up, picked up all the garbage, and we had some of the neighborhood kids help us, some of the elementary school kids. So I want to thank them, on the record, and I really appreciate their help. Now some of the positive stuff. I want to congratulate the Old Bridge Soccer Club Thunder travel team. They won their Northeast League playoff, Northeast Region playoff, and they are going to St. Louis for nationals. For the National League Championship, and then a few weeks after that, they're going for the U.S. Youth Soccer National Tournament as well. So best of luck to them for that. I also want to thank the Old Bridge Police Department. There's been some issues over at Voorhees during the school year with parking around the neighborhood there because Voorhees does not have a big parking lot. A lot of people are parking in the yellow areas where they're not supposed to park, and I know the police were giving out tickets, and that wasn't very well received on social media. But just know that Anna, myself, the school board, Dr. Sasso, a bunch of us are going to meet in August to try to mitigate that and make better traffic flow over there. And happy 4th of July, and hope everybody has a safe holiday. Thank you.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes. Congratulations to all the graduates and best wishes in your future endeavors, and have a wonderful summer. Now that school's out, sometimes you consider adopting a pet because you have more time and you can get it acclimated to your home. Please visit our animal shelter. There's a lot of beautiful pets, animals, dogs, cats that need a home. So if you have availability, please do that. And as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of this wonderful country, at this time it would be good to remember a few things that some of our past presidents have said. One is which President John F. Kennedy said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." Also, President Ronald Reagan said, "As long as the American dream lives, America has a future, and all mankind has a reason for hope." So happy 250th anniversary of this nation, and God bless America.
Council President Sohar.
Yes, just congratulations naturally to all the graduates. I wish them nothing but the best. Life is ahead of them, and hopefully they will have all their dreams come true. And again, everyone else said, happy 4th of July. We are celebrating our country and each other, so everyone have a safe and happy 4th of July. Yes.
To Councilman Dunstine, you would have said the same thing no matter who won that game, right? Both teams were from your league, right?
Yeah, it's one team. They're in two different tournaments and championships, but yes.
Okay, great.
We're going to, we need a motion and a second to enter executive session, adjourn and enter executive session. We will not be returning after executive session.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Von Stetten, second by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli. Roll call, Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin. Councilman Pasquitti.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli.
Yes.
Yes. Council President Sohar. 9:55 p.m.
Yeah.